Hey, how's it going, guys? Garcia here with your daily portfolio update. So it looks like the $400,000 threshold has been complete. We finally closed at 400,000. I know the last update we had kind of, crossed over the 400,000 after hours, but this was the first time that at market close we were at 400,000. So pretty exciting. Sorry for missing the last update on Friday. Was out on a date with my wife, so I wasn't able to upload that day. So let's get on to it. Today we're at $424,488.32. So a great day for RKLB, a great day for Palantir today. The Roth area was up almost 10.6% today. Wow, over 10% today. So RKLB had an incredible day. Year to date, we're up 20%. And all time, this portfolio is up 174%, going back to December 11th, 2023. Buying power, 163 bucks. And this is the current portfolio. So total return on the covered calls, we're down 40%, no biggie. NVDA, we're up 26% on these calls. So doing pretty well here. So I will continue holding these until we get around maybe 50-75% returns, and I'll start considering covered calls on a very conservative strikes to try to take advantage as much of the upward move as possible. AMD still lagging behind, but still up 5% on these sets of calls, but we're still down overall on AMD because of the $300 calls that I closed at a loss. RKLB, we're up 81% on the entire position, and TSLL, we're currently down 9%. This is the current equity. So about 64 grand in RKLB and about 2,000 in TSLL, 3,000 in NVIDIA and 2,000 in AMD. Okay, the big portfolio, big account is up 6.5% today, 6.6% basically. Year to date, we're up 45.9%. In the past year, up 374%. And all time, we're up 341.7%, going back to August 2nd of 2021. It's amazing. We're up over $250,000 in this account. Buying power, 197,000. Nothing changed. I don't think I did anything different here. This is the current total return. So we're down 40% on the RKLB covered calls, just as we went over. We're up 85% on the cash secured puts. I do want to close those out at 90% plus. I am willing to wait. TSLL, we're down 60% on these cash secured puts. So let's take a look at this one. So these puts, they're at a $21 strike, and they expire this Friday. So TSLL closed at around $20, but it's dipping at $19 right now. If tomorrow TSLL continues sliding down and we hit the low 19s, you see my break even is $19.95. That means that I will have to roll for myself. That's the rule that I set to myself. I want to keep up with the stock. I'm not going to wait for TSLL to possibly go down further before making a move. If it breaches my break even, I'm going to be rolling down and out, and I will be doubling down. So instead of having 15 contracts, I will have 30 contracts at a much lower strike. I'm thinking $17, $18, and just keep up with the stock. Palantir, the $115 calls. We're currently down 22%, which isn't it wild to say that, oh yeah, my $115 calls on Palantir are being tested. It's just insane. NVIDIA, we're up 25%. AMD, we're up 7%. Palantir, we're up 526% on this position. I'm basically done accumulating unless we hit some ridiculous pricing or ridiculous levels. But I will just be managing this position for basically the rest of my life until the investment thesis breaks, basically. RKLB, we're up 71% on this position here. And so far, this whole position has returned 41 grand unrealized. So looking forward to managing this as well. TSL, we're down 7%. All right, and here's the equity. Yeah, so Palantir is back up to a $250,000 position in the portfolio, and RKLB is behind, is at 101,000 here plus 64. So yeah, so Palantir continues to pull away from RKLB. Okay, let's check out what's going on over here. So here, where was I? Let's see, Palmer Luckey, he was talking about the investors having their mind blown. Your mind will detonate when you find out what our investors already know. Stay tuned for next week. I put, my mind would detonate if you announced a direct public offering like Palantir. And I'm going to continue to pressure Palmer Luckey on social media. I'm sure he knows what investors want. We don't want an IPO. We don't want the banks to get their grubby little fingers on this company before we do. We would love for Andrew to follow Palantir's footsteps and establish a strong base with the retail community who would be able to grow along with the company. So fingers crossed. Oh yeah, this was the year-to-date all-time returns. And something I don't go over much on YouTube just because I don't want to be exposing like any accounts or risk anything. But I do get asked, how often do you deposit into this account? Like how big are the deposits? And it's going to surprise you. Since January of 2024, so since the beginning of last year, I've only deposited $750 total throughout the whole year. It was a year where I'm making a lot less here in Arkansas, but we are basically saving and I'm just dedicating my time on this portfolio here. And total withdrawals, we've withdrawn around 10,500. So yeah, here are the deposits and withdrawals. Any deposits you'll see there that are small is basically just cash back from the Robinhood credit card. But yeah, this portfolio has basically grown on its own, and I've used the money from cash secured puts and covered calls to buy the dip and increase my position. Let's see. So this lady, she tried to put me on blast saying, because I asked her, so how much are the courses? And this was a while back. And she was trying to say, it's fairly difficult for me to teach and blah, blah, blah. So I said, without beating around the bush, what's the all-in cost of your courses? And I was just checking in to see if she saw my response. And then she goes to this guy thinks 5,000 is a lot of money. I make 5,000 in 2 hours of trading. Nice self-owned, Garcia. Blah, 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 blah. My course is a minimum of $5,000. I've had 105 clients in the last year and a half. My community is strong and it's been growing like crazy in the last few months. Let's go. I responded, with 105 students, you grifted $500,000. You're confusing schmucks with community. It's just, she doesn't realize, she straight up blocked me after that. She blocked me, and so I reposted this one. I quoted her. Be ashamed of who you are. If I hope my account, inspires people to grow their accounts, but also it acts as like a source of shame for people who know they're not providing real value. And if you're selling, something, and you think I'm talking about you, or you're questioning whether you're providing value, step it up. If you're charging people especially if it's a substantial amount, you should be delivering at least what people are paying for. So she blocked me, of course. Who needs optimists when the trash already takes itself out? So you got Woman Options Win blocked me. Jesse Dow Micro to Macro blocked me. Banana 3 Stocks, huge account on Twitter. And Jake Wujastic, guys with massive sub-selling following. Fuck it. I'm glad. This is the view from a job that I was doing over the weekend. They have a really nice view over here. Look at that. It was really nice. Sham was talking about Doge. Doge, verb, to Doge, to create meritocracy, transparency, and accountability. I responded with Pilly, Pill-E, noun, the company that will help implement Doge. So for those new to the channel, Pilly means Palantir. Chad, enough with steak dinners from sales reps you barely know. Bring on the developers who will show you working code on your data. Hey buddy, don't listen to all that jazz. How about a round of golf next week? Oh, he deleted it. So Kanye West, I guess his account got suspended, or he deleted his account. But this was I reposted Kanye saying, please remember we are only 34 days into the year. And I guess he got deleted. Yeah, because I don't think I had to unfollow someone as quickly as I did to Kanye. Don't open his profile in public. The dude is posting straight up PO. He was just posting straight up, like, just vulgar videos and pictures and all that. Was hilarious. No, babe, I didn't lose our savings to a meme coin. I was doing a social experiment. And then Mike B, chill, it's just a prank. We're actually filming. Is that okay if you're in our video? Wife, what the fuck is wrong with you? So we didn't lose everything? Oh, yeah. Oh, nah. Yeah, we're fucked. With this body language. Oh, yeah. No, we're still fucked. So we're trying to explain. I don't know what I said wrong. Salesforce is hiring 2,000 human sales reps to sell autonomous AI sales reps to its customers. You know those steakhouse owners are happy to hear that. Talking about the Super Bowl. I'm not really invested in that. Non-profit hospitals having Super Bowl ads. Something adding up here. Non-profit AI companies like OpenAI having Super Bowl ads. Something ain't adding up here. Drake watching the halftime show. Chiefs must have been making play calls from a dashboard. This is them making their halftime adjustments. Load up the PowerPoint, fellas. So apparently, bad things happen when the city of brotherly love wins a championship. Every time Philadelphia, apparently the Athletics were in Philly back then, but anytime Philadelphia has won a championship, World Series or a Super Bowl, there was a panic of 1910, 25% bear market, another recession in World War I was right around the corner, the crash of 1929, the Great Depression, double-dip recession of early 1980s, the financial crisis, and stock's worst year since 2008. So I guess we'll find out what happens next. Rest in peace, bull market. Praying the Chiefs make a comeback with 7 minutes left. Here, I was posting this classic to remind everyone that position size is more important than cost basis. No one wanted to keep buying Palantir at 25, at 30, 40, 50. I mean, myself included. I stopped loading up on Palantir when it crossed the 25s, the 30s, 35. I had built a pretty strong position, but had I simply continued adding to it, the portfolio would be up even higher possibly. But to be clear, I'm not telling you guys to buy above $100, but the opportunities to load up were there for a long time. $20 Palantir back in 2020, in 2021, 2023, and 2024. This was pretty interesting. Martin Shkreli was talking about stock and NFT bubbles in Nikola, Bored Apes, and short sellers targeting Tesla, and his thoughts on whether Palantir is a company to short. And I'll play the clip. I think it's a pretty good one. I think you'll enjoy it.
Buying bubbles is generally, from most professionals' perspective, it's not something you want to try to do, because you're going to end up with what happens here, which is you lose everything. Better to buy a good company like Palantir than to try to buy a Ginkgo, JDSU. Dry shipping was the hottest stock. Nobody buying dry shipping could be considered a good investor. But that's like saying, look, I bought Bored Ape NFTs. Okay, they were 128 ETH. At one point, they were 5 ETH. Are you brilliant for buying Bored Apes at 10 ETH? No, you're not. It's a mixture of lucky and stupid. Because the ability to time a bubble is very, very rare. Very few people have that kind of skill. In the real world, you want to find an identifiable, repeatable skill. If your skill is, sometimes I am able to predict bubbles, that's not really a skill. If you can predict movements in the stock market routinely over long periods of time, you'll make a lot of money. And it'll show up in your Sharpe ratio and stuff like that. So imagine you're working at Tiger and, you know, your job is to manage $1 billion. And you say, I want to buy $50 million of Nikola. This is that fake auto car company, right? And Nikola goes up 10x. Then it goes down 99%. I mean, if I'm your boss, I'm sitting there saying, okay, whether or not this guy got out with a profit or not, this scares the shit out of me. Is this guy stupid? Is he buying the worst stock on the planet? This guy's a liability. Why didn't he buy a stock with promise and progress and growing revenue and an exciting business? He's buying junk. Junk rallies in a bear market. And in a bull market, junk is the best. That's the old saying, cash is trash. And in a good market, cash is king. Yeah, so the short seller community for Tesla was just so wrong and so bad. I don't think Palantir, I don't like to short I don't like to short good companies.
So I thought it was pretty interesting. Like, he's a pretty controversial figure, but he does great value investing and analysis. Like, he has a very good eye, and he runs these numbers very, very quickly. He looks at the 10Qs, at all the balance sheets and everything. And, you know, it's pretty interesting to see him, you know, look at Palantir as a good company. Like, as much as people are screaming that it's overvalued, it's going to crash, it's going to do this, so I'm buying puts here. Why would you be getting in front of a giant freight train where management is crushing it? Like, they are literally growing. They're growing their free cash flow. They are expanding. They're growing customer. Their rule of 40 is 80. It's just, why would you want to short a company like that? It's just an ego bet at that point. So I just thought it was interesting, so I did want you guys to watch it. And today, I mean, this is why I personally don't waste time predicting short-term stock moves. Nobody knows when moves like this, like a 12% day, will happen. I just want to be holding shares whenever it does. Like, I think a lot of people try to play footsie with the market with, like, I think it's going to go down next week, so I'm going to sell. I think it's going to go up for earnings, so I'm going to buy. And then you're buying and selling, so you never develop a true conviction to hold. You know, you won't hold through storms, because if you're going to be selling at the first sign of fear, you'll kind of be stuck at the whims of headlines. Oh, there's a fears of tariffs, a fears of World War III, fears of this, fears of that. If you were stuck to headlines, you would never be invested, ever. There's always a bad reason to be invested, according to the headlines. And people who say, oh yeah, my charts knew this would happen. Like, they say it with a lot of arrogance and a lot of absolute statements where, yeah, they saw the future with their charts. I don't see them posting their 1000% wins on call options that they bought because their charts would tell them it's going to happen, most of the time they don't post positions. So honestly, those charts really don't mean much to me personally. Here is the portfolio update. Past 400 grand, and it looks like that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video, of how I explain it, break things down. Always willing to take feedback. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Oops, and I did skip this part. Thank each and every one of you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.